Always helps if I hit that button. Okay, alright, so I'm going to turn this down just a little bit so like I said my voice isn't too overpowering, but I felt more like live streaming versus anything else, just as it would upload a little quicker. So anyways, we're going to hop right into it. So welcome. Today we're going to be showing you a lot of the progress that I've made on Trainz, and I bet you $10 that my mouse hit that twice because this thing is just on the fritz. Yep, so we're going to try that one more time. I do apologize. My mouse has been double clicking and triple clicking and not clicking, or it's pretty much shot. I got to get a new mouse, but I need to actually work before I do that, so so we are going to hop into the Hyde subdivision, showing you all the progress I have made since last time, and there has been a fair bit of work that I've done since the last episode number 2. So, hold on real quick, you're looking at the lift bridge near the Cody Steel facility. So it's going to be a little laggy just because there's a lot of stuff going on, but I don't believe I showed you, but I did complete, or I did get most of what I wanted to put up on here done. I still have to level out that hill a little bit, make it just a little more shallower, but I did complete a fair bit of this area. Put in the this area, but I am going to go ahead and jump into driver mode so I can show you without all these spline circles rotating around. So, hope you all are well. Happy Wednesday to you all. Alright, so we're going to turn junction overlays off, and we'll jump into more or less a free roam. But, like I said, did kind of finish the facility out at a larger parking lot just out here. It's like traffic leaving the facility. Just got a large sign, greets people on the way in. And traffic will start moving here. I think they're all going to turn right, or no, they'll all go left, I'm sorry. That's funny. I think this way we'll go. I just like watching the traffic light, I'm sorry. I particularly like this traffic light right here. That's particularly why I like it, is that flashing yellow light. But anyhow, so I will show you the coal facility, or the steel mill. So we do have a fairly large complex. I did kind of put just a couple of these buildings in between. I might take them out, get you guys' opinion on that and whatnot, but I did pretty much get most of the facility built. I have to do a little bit with this line right here. I kind of took a break from it after a little bit just because I got a little tired of doing it constantly. So got a water treatment facility also on the area. I think the water tower even says the facility's name, if I can get close to it. Yep, Cody Steel. And like I said, the bridge does work. It's always fun to watch. I never noticed that the gears at the top of the bridge move. But yeah, I extended the line. It's gonna hook up with the main tracks. I'm over here. I gotta lower the land a little bit, but as you can see, we have the main line over here that comes down by Old Orchard Road. There'd be a golf course right here, and a lot of trees too. I gotta put a lot of trees in, but I put this train in just to test out the line, but we'll come back to that. So the line curves right over here as we approach downtown Sako. It turns into a double track. Put in this crossing right here on Beach Street right here in Sako. So I like it. I rigged it to so when the train comes through, these gates go down first, along with the pedestrian gates, and the two opposite lane gates will go down slightly after the main gates go down. Detector defects detector. Oh, and something over here I'm really proud of is this custom intersection that I built with its own lanes. Of course, it's still kind of buggy because traffic just does what it wants to, I've noticed. But yeah, you see right there, instead of waiting and turning into that lane, it wants to turn into this lane. So traffic's still a little wonky on how it works out, but yeah, it is what it is. So but this is modeled after a real intersection in Sako. This is where all these routes kind of join. This was kind of all done off memory because, of course, growing up in this town, you kind of remember how things go. And this, I used to drive through here pretty much most every day. This is where Elm Street, Route 1, North Street, which is Route 112, and Route 5 also goes up this way. Links up with Main Street, which turns into Portland Road, which is where Route 1 continues to go up, as well as Route 5. Route 112, I believe, ends right here, and begins. Route 111 ends right here, I believe, because it doesn't go any other direction. So Route 111 ends here. Route 9 turns right and goes up Beach Street, and Route 5 technically goes this way, but according to the map, Route 5 comes off of North Street, goes to this little portion right here, and then turns left. But in all reality, you wouldn't be able to turn left here. You'd only be able to go straight or right. To go left, you'd have to go up this way. So, but the traffic lights themselves, I did all off of memory in terms of which way goes first and whatnot. So yeah, I don't know why they're going. It's weird how this all works, but I did it the best I could. It's, like I said, a little buggy, but there's not a whole lot more I can do. Of course, the Main Street train crossing. Then we have the Thornton Ave, and I put a little side street in. I've yet to name it because it's not a real road in Sako. So there would be no side street right here. So I've yet to name it, but this is where Thornton Street, I believe Thornton Ave, I'm sorry, this is where Thornton Avenue comes onto Elm Street in Sako. So this would be the Thornton Ave, and probably would be, I don't know what we could name it. I don't know. Maybe if you'd like to shoot me a suggestion, I might be able to do it. I don't know. So I do intend to put up signs on the corner of the streets. You know, we'll list the road names. But regardless, I have been putting some buildings in here. Trying to make it look like downtown Sako as best as I can. But of course, with a lot of changes, especially with this train line running through the middle of town now. Definitely doesn't help out much of the traffic, but it's fun to watch. So you see right here, I'll be adding in these signs with all the street names on them. So that's Thornton Ave. Right here we have Pleasant Street. And Pleasant Street, just a little side street in Sako. Then we have our gas stations right here. Normally it'd be a Sako, Then there would be a Sako right here. There would be Green Street, which is a one-way road, which I modeled that over here. This is Green Street. This is the road that leads to the station, but these two gas stations wouldn't be on top of each other. So we'd have Sitgo, Sako, and then a Cumberland Farms right over here. Let me think. Green Street would be in between the two. The Cumberland Farms would be across the street from the Sako, so we would have a Cumberland Farms right here. I will put that in. Pleasant Street would go all the way across, so maybe I should make that... Pardon me for a second, I do have to sneeze. There we go. Sorry, it got stuck, so that's always fun. I think what I'll do is change this to Green Street. I'll put another building right here. I don't know what I'm going to put here. But it would normally go Lincoln Street. Store Street would be kind of right here. The Sitgo would be right here, and there'd be a propane tank right here for small propane tank refills. The Sako would be right here. Pleasant Street would intersect, and the Cumberland Farms would be right here, along with a Skipper's, which is a seafood restaurant. So the Cumberland Farms right here, very small lot. Skipper's, my old favorite restaurant, Sarge's, which is now closed. It was a NASCAR-themed restaurant. We knew the owners so well. They were like family to us, and actually the owner and head chef there, Sarge, he passed away some years ago lost his battle to cancer. It was like a granddad to us. I remember being young, and it was a family restaurant and bar. And I'd go in the bar and whatnot and sit down and with all the regulars and watch a NASCAR race. And I mean, it was a fun environment, to say the least. And I can technically say I grew up in a bar, nothing really to brag about, but it was really, really fun. A really, really fun atmosphere. You didn't have all the regulars were super nice there, and they were like family. I remember we'd all convoy down to New Hampshire Motor Speedway in Loudon, New Hampshire, when the September race would come to town. I mean, I'm a big NASCAR fan. I like cars, I love racing and whatnot, and my dad, he always loved NASCAR too, so that was something me and him had in common, but I just picked it up on my own, and it was a fun little restaurant right here, and just sad that it's gone. But this larger building represents the Sako Police Department. Way smaller building. There's also a retirement home right here on this would represent Water Street in Sako, but like I said, I had to really do some changes in here and whatnot, and Elm Street would also continue to go slightly diagonal. I think it would be more at this angle and then continue on, and then it would cross the river right about here, where the island that I built over here, this island would be right about here in terms of downtown. There'd be a large kind of open expanse of water where this side of the river came and met with this side of the river, and then split to either go down this man-made canal to the Cataract Falls, or go down the river on the other side of Sako Island. So, like I said, really had to scrunch everything. I made Sako Island more further up the river, because Sako Island would kind of more stick down and go a little bit more over that way. So I made it a little bit more narrower and a little bit more further up this way. Also, this canal would kind of be cutting, I want to say this way, because if I do recall, Water Street kind of, I don't know, see, I didn't build this portion off of the map. This was completely free-handed and whatnot. The train line actually comes through here across the river before another waterfall right about here, and before a series of waterfalls, and I think the river would come off this way. The train tracks would come around here, then around a corner, and then it would cross right about here before curving. This dam would be slightly pushed forward, and this part of the island would be further down that way. and it would encompass more of an area. So I'd say Factory Island, come up off this way, go over more, and then swing off back over here. So, like I said, this was all completely freehanded and whatnot, and kind of scrunched it all in before I decided I wanted to actually recreate a lot of the street layout in Sako. So, we'll have to change some stuff. What the heck did I click on? We'll have to change some stuff, because Route 1, instead of going across on Elm Street's going to kind of... I'm actually going to curve Elm Street over here, and then I'm going to connect it across on the island. It'll come over. It might come over here. I'm not sure what I want to do with that yet. It might just dead end there. Might put some houses like right in here. So I'm not quite sure what I want to do with this area yet. But Elm Street would normally go across the river right here, and this would be Lincoln Street. So Lincoln Street's actually going to be Route 1. Route 1 will come across the bridge over here, and then we're going to hook it up. We'll make another intersection over here. We'll hook it back up with this bridge, and then Route 1 will continue on its merrily way, which in actuality, Route 1 would come across the island probably about here. This dam's pretty much at the end of the island. I think it would stick out further. This is a Spring Island, I believe. Route 1 would curve back this way and then slightly to the left, and we'll go more that way. But again, this is all free-handed, so I will going to try and do a little bit more realistic, or recreating what's on the map in this portion of the town. Just more of the coastal areas I'm going to recreate. When I go further inland, I'll be using some fictional town names. I'll be using real town names, but they'll be more free-handed and whatnot. A couple areas might be the same as... or I'll recreate as best as I can, but more than likely just gonna kind of see what I'm feeling that day. So, but yes, this is the beginnings and whatnot. Like I said, did a lot of work, just getting lines in, getting the roads in, getting all the traffic lights hooked up, because this intersection all works and whatnot. This, you know, these ways go, this road comes in right here. This is a funky little intersection in Sako. Just getting all the buildings in, and then not only that, but then kind of texturing along over here, and then doing all my building placement down here in the port section of Biddeford. This took quite some time, and I still am not even done, or close to being done. And you can see I have a lot more roads to put in. Excuse me. I have a ton more roads to put in. And it's been a lot of tinkering with these curves that come into the lower portion of the layout. So, of course, this hill, I've been slowly smoothing it out and whatnot, and trying to adjust it, and then I also fixed this corner so the turn's a little more gradual versus a very... the train line would come here and then make a very, very sharp turn. So I made this turn a little bit more gradual versus immediate. So... and of course, there's been a lot of work downstream at the steel facility, which, you know, gives this area a very important look. I mean, as you can see here, it's a lot of industry, you know, with this Union Ice Plant facility. The docks that go here, you know, you have a steam fishing wharf, and then the fisherman's wharf over there. A lot of these warehouses and mills, along with the mixture of these older brick buildings and whatnot. You know, just gives this area a feel of, you know, it has a lot of importance to the area, and that's kind of what I'm shooting for, is that, you know, this is a very important area. This is where a lot of industry and commerce happens, and I'm hoping I'm capturing that. You know, and it's just a lot of mixture of things. It really looks good in my opinion, and I personally like this little freight yard I put right here, because like I said, this bridge, if I were to connect track to it, the track would appear here, and I just can't fix it, but I want to keep the bridge just by having these lines. I mean, we're not going to be looking at this bridge too often and whatnot, but it's fun. It's you know, you get some sense that the train line used to go over here, which, I mean, that's obviously what I'm shooting for. Did I forget to raise a buoy? Yes, I did. So I'll fix that later. course, I'm trying to add buoys to the area and figure out what these all stand for, because I know nothing about boats. I know I grew up in Maine, on the coast and whatnot, and you would think people from Maine would know a lot about boats, but yeah. That's like saying people from California know a lot about surfing. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people in California that surf, but not everyone's a surfer. Not everyone from Maine's a lumberjack or a fisherman or stuff like that. But, stereotyping. But this bridge, just, it looks good right here. I really like how, you know, it's kind of really rusty and whatnot. It looks very rusty, and it just looks, you know, obviously having it open 24/7 and nothing connect to it on either side just makes it look really cool. And I really like having it right here. And then, of course, having this, you know, freight yard in here, you can tell that, you know, it would have cost a lot, and it would have been very treacherous to go down here and, you know, attempt to dismantle this bridge. And it actually would be, for how big or how busy I assume this port would be, it was just easier and more cost effective just to keep it. But also, in speaking, I am thinking about maybe kind of curving this coastline more this way, maybe making a small little harbor right there, so these boats could back up, because as it is right now, from what I'm seeing and how it looks, from the looks of it, this boat would just be able to back up enough. But in order to swing that way to exit the port is a very challenging task from the looks of it. I mean, of course, I know that boat's never going to move and whatnot, and it's not going to be something we focus a lot on because we're going to be driving trains on this layout. Why would we care about how big the harbor is for this boat that's never going to move? Well, again, it's just to capture a sense of realism, because I don't think a boat this size would be coming to this port anyways, but considering it's here in the layout, and it's going to stay because I did want a large boat down here, I do need to help myself out and move this coastline a little bit. So I think it's just going to kind of cliff right there and then curve more this way, and then maybe we can, you know, this area is fine down here, but again, just to help my realistic mind out, I'm gonna just work on that. But again, and just, I love coming down to this portion of the map that I built and just looking at, you know, these buildings that are all right here, because this just screams a very maybe not an area you want to be. You know, it just looks more, as you know, we call it ghetto-ish. Just gives me that, you know, kind of lower income families vibe, more or less. And like I said, just not maybe the area you want to be in or hang out daily. So this is kind of the vibe I get. Using some real street names from the city of Biddeford. And same deal down here. Yes, actually there is a street in Biddeford called Bacon Street. Ironically enough, the Biddeford Police Department sits on the corner of Alfred Street and Bacon Street, which I always kind of find ironic. I still have to configure products to this dock, because I guess it's, I don't know, it consumes. So I guess these are configured. So for a while there it says product not configured, but I guess today it got its act together. So weird. Not complaining though. Of course I have more work to do. Don't mind that train. I'm just was testing something. Long mixed freight train. Still have a lot of work to do down here. Just a couple more warehouses I want to put in here. And of course need to do some work up here. I mean, there is a ton that I have to do, and time is not something that's going to be on my side much longer. Start my first day at Southwest Airlines tomorrow. I actually have to be up at 2:30 in the morning to be on the road by 3, to be at the airport, to be parked, you know, to get to the airport by at least 5 o'clock, because the airport is a good deal of distance away from me. So I had to be up wicked early for my first day, and it's only orientation, so very, very important first day, and I do not want to be late, so I do have the weekend, but I am taking a trip with my girlfriend and her family just into Missouri, so I'll probably have part of Sunday to take and work on this, because, of course, I've been doing a lot of small, minor detail work, and for the longest time I didn't even have the train tracks going much past here, and now I'm working more going this way, working into Old Orchard and whatnot, and I want to get to Old Orchard, and I want to connect these two tracks up. Just see, or I'm sorry, these two tracks, I got to get this track up on the same level. This has to start going downhill pretty quick here, so it can get to sea level to be in Old Orchard. I have to get this onto the same level as that, and then work on maybe putting some little bit of detail in here, nothing too large. I might put like a tree line kind of wallish thing right here, so it just looks like there's trees off in the distance, because that's really where this train line goes through. Once it comes through, if we're to come across here, it would make a turn and pretty much be passing a small housing development in the back of Sako, and then it'd just be in the trees. So like I said, you can imagine I really wanted to start working more outside this area, because it seems like I have been stuck in this area for a while. It's not a bad thing. I mean, I've definitely been trying to work on one area versus expanding to, multiple little places and whatnot, but I definitely think it's time to start focusing on moving this project along and maybe smoothing out the terrain the best I can, because I don't know, all these hills, I mean, I might leave these kind of, the terrain being not so smoothed out and whatnot, looks and seems a bit more realistic than, seems more untouched versus the slopes we have over here on the hills and whatnot. Seems like these hills all here are untouched. Of course, I do have to smooth out these jagged edges, because I just don't foresee these and whatnot. Of course, this area is all dug out, so steeper hills wouldn't be a problem, but I do want to have a more gradual slope in to the facility. I don't want to leave these cliffs. And then eventually, I think what I was actually doing before I built the whole steel mill was I was working on getting to the ocean, and I wanted to make the ocean and go up before I did Old Orchard and whatnot. So again, a lot of possibilities of what I want to do. But again, it's just finding the inspiration, seeing what I really want to work on that day. And a lot of my focus has been on, of course, like I said, the steel mill, because that's just been, this is probably the most heavily detailed industrial area that I've created ever in Trainz. It's a first for me, definitely taking a step outside my realm. And of course, I'm not from an area that has these, so I was really looking and seeing what other people have done, and there's only really one person on YouTube that's done a complex steel mill facility. Looking at pictures to seeing how a steel mill generally looks, and then just kind of taking that and going with it and whatnot. So it was a bit of a task, a bit of a challenge, and I hope I tackled that challenge enough. But and I really like this area. It's a fun little area, and I imagine hundreds of hours maybe being spent here just messing around in it, or at least a lot of the focus of my operations, because my hopes is to finish this route and be able to use it and be able to have fun on it and enjoy it. And of course, that's what we all want from our own routes and whatnot, and to be able to feature it in some YouTube videos, of course, to show you guys, of course, the route. And if I can, I would love to upload it to the download station for not only myself to enjoy, but the rest of you guys to enjoy. I would love for people to download this and enjoy it. It's just, it's so heavily detailed, I don't know how long a download would take. So, I mean, this is going to be a very extensive route, to say the least. So, but yeah, I mean, I really think that's it. There's not a whole lot to show. I mean, I just want to give you guys an update and show you what I have done. So, I think by next update, I will have the Sako River connected to the ocean. I will kind of get that finished up. Like I said, I do want to just extend the layout as far as I can that way and get it roughly to the ocean. I do want to measure from the tip of Sako Island how far it is to the ocean. I think it's about 3 miles downstream. So there's a 3-mile stretch down to the ocean. So I will get that 3-mile stretch, and I think about 3 tiles is a mile, so this is about half of a tile. Or it was about, like, what, 2.5? So 2.5 tiles is a mile, so you can see here this is probably 1 mile. And then, of course, I have to go another 2.5, so approximately 3 tiles is a mile. Or a little bit, more than that, but anyhow, you know what I'm trying to say. So I will have the Sako River connected to the ocean. I will work a little bit more on getting this portion done, maybe, but definitely have that portion connected up. We'll have this line connected to the main line, so I can have functionality at least, so maybe I can make a loop. So a loop can be made on the layout. This will actually, before I let you guys go, connecting this to the main line will also help, because as it is, all trains right now coming into the area have to, okay, can I go up please? Thank you. All trains coming into the steel mill facility have to come down that large hill, and I think it really hurts the facility itself, because of course, that steep hill is fun to, it's challenging, and it's fun to try and get the train to stop with loaded cars and then go up the hill with unloaded cars, and a train that per se doesn't have a large amount of power. It's always fun, but this is a 7% grade, I think, almost 8. I think at one point it does get to an 8% grade, but this is the only way in, and you can only bring so few cars down that hill without having 6 or 7 engines attached to the head of the train. So it'll be better to have the train line linked up with the main line via this bridge, because that's a gradual slope that's coming down. I think that's a 0.79% grade, and then over here I think we get to maybe like a 5% grade, because it's just got to come down quickly. So I had to make that bridge go up high enough where that Delmas ship, at the level it's floating at now, the masts or whatever those tall poles are will not clip the bottom of the bridge when it's raised up to its full height. And this was the smallest lift bridge that I could get in here, so yeah, this is just the only way in for heavily loaded trains, and I want it to be the only way out for heavily loaded trains, so that's just what I want to have done. I want to have this hooked up to the main line. I want to have the main line stretched down into parts of Old Orchard, or getting close to the station in Old Orchard, the second Amtrak Downeaster stop on the line. And like I said, definitely have this area linked up to the ocean, maybe some detailing done over here, get this area finished up, because I'm tired of working on a steel mill. So I want to get the steel mill kind of all textured and detailed up, be done with it. Get the harbor done, because I just want to stop working on this area right here. This is where I've spent a bulk of my time, is the lower port section of Biddeford. So get that done, get this area kind of underway, but like I said, start working towards Old Orchard and start working towards the ocean. So anyways, guys, I will leave you off here with a view of the port section of Biddeford. So I do appreciate you watching. Give me any suggestions that you guys, maybe want to see in the layout. And keep in mind, this, like I said, is a Maine themed line. So aside from that steel plant, which will be the only one, I do want to stick to, more traditional stuff that you would find in Maine. So That's kind of what I would like to do. So yeah, give me some suggestions, or maybe what you want to see in the line, or things that I could do, or maybe ways to improve on what I have going here right now. If you guys enjoyed it and you haven't already done so, please hit that subscribe button. It really does help me out a lot. It actually helps me out a little bit more is the like or dislike button. If you really like what you're watching, hit that like button. It just lets me know to keep doing this. I had a comment on, I think, one of my previous Trainz videos. Someone just posted today, and that's why I'm making these videos, because he really enjoyed the last video I made and he wants to see more. So just figured I'd give you guys an update since I got some positive feedback. And that just it really meant a lot to me. It really was nice to know that someone enjoyed what they were seeing. So yeah. So anyways, guys, like I said, thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. Now we get to play the long exiting process of the game. So let's just have some awkward silence. That's right, I forgot I was in driver, so I just saved that, didn't I? Crap. Yep, I did. Oh well. Alrighty guys, thanks for watching. Talk to you later.